Great. Okay. Scott, you're there.
Okay, I have the task of a celebration of the outgoing directors, and this year there's two of them who will be leaving the board, and that's Rob Mahoney and Alan Whitehead, and their term of 9 years is up. And both of these guys have made incredible contributions to the radon community and industry in Canada. And, you know, I think we should all be forever grateful for the work that they've done and that they will continue to do, I'm sure. But I have a few things I'd like to say about each of these guys here. And one of them, Rob Mahoney, he was really my first mitigation radon guru way long time ago. We met at a talk and hit it off and became instant radon geeks, and he helped pull me into the whole world. So thanks for that, Rob. I appreciate it. And Rob was, he's a founding member of CARST. Since its inception, he's played an important role in helping us achieve our goals. And he's really been a technical ambassador, I would say, and a networking ambassador for developing radon in Canada. And he's worked, I mean, that can be seen through a lot of the work he's done directly with Health Canada, the National Research Council, the Canadian General Standards Boards, municipalities, special interest groups, and radon professionals across Canada. I'm sure that a lot of you have actually worked with Rob over the years, or at least chatted with him about some technical things. And I think it's his abilities and willingness to share his knowledge on radon mitigation as well as mechanical ventilation, of which he's an expert in both, has allowed him to be a great technical source for the board so that we can make better decisions, more informed decisions when we want to move forward on particular issues. And I talked about some of the other things that Rob's worked on outside of the board, and one of them, I mean, this is a feather in anyone's cap. His first mitigation job he's working on was involving the research and development of mitigation under Arthur Scott, who authored our guideline from Health Canada for professional contractors. And with Health Canada, he continued to work with them. For example, there's that active soil depressurization field study, which he was involved with. He also has worked with them, Health Canada, directly on various media events, such as with Kelly Bush, who's the manager of radon education and awareness for Health Canada. Rob was also a very influential member on the Canadian General Standards Board Committee that wrote our first standards for mitigation of existing and new construction. And I remember there was a lot of difficult issues and questions we had, and Rob was a really good, quick to the answer, no nonsense, helped really make it clear as to how we should proceed. He's also worked extensively with Grace Joe of the National Research Council. And if you've ever seen those two test houses they have, and you see a mitigation system in there, lots of compliments of Rob. And Rob's helped them maintain those and tweak them as they see fit to help out with their research. So he's also helped Grace with new construction outside of that research center as well. And as I mentioned, Rob likes to reach out. He's an ambassador. He's been in a lot of municipal town halls, I know, over the year in the Ottawa region. He's helped that way. So this open door policy for questions and guidance has been quite beneficial. And I think the board, we're going to miss Rob a lot on the board for his insights and certainly his forward-thinking ideas. He's never been one to shy away from new approaches, technologies, or controversy. And his efforts have always, I think, kept pushing the envelope to help us be better at managing radon inside buildings. And so it's, like I say, I think he's either benefited me directly and all of us one way or another in CARST, in our community. So he will certainly continue to be a great resource and a great friend of all of us, I think, moving forward. And on a personal note, as I said, Rob really had a big impact on me at the start. I remember he convinced me way back in 2011 to go to the ARST conference down in Florida, and went, I don't know, said, no, no, you got to come. As soon as I got there, I realized, yep, this is a place for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you sure did. And it was really something, and down in Radon Disneyland down there. And there's a person that he introduced me to as well, and his name was Alan Whitehead. And so that's a perfect segue into chatting about Alan. And I remember when I met Alan, there was me and there's Rob, and I think it was Kelly Bush, and Alan was talking about geological radon mapping at the time. Oh. And I remember thinking, wow, this fellow looks rather dapper and professional. He's very approachable and friendly. And so we kept chatting, and those friendships have lasted to this day. But I think even that little chat that we had there kind of really highlighted Alan's skills and being able to get different people together, different groups together, understands all their needs and the purposes, and try to see how it can dovetail it all together for the greater purpose and to expanding what we want to achieve. So, his work, I think, has done really well. It's been in Canada, and it's also gone internationally. He's doesn't quite stay here. He's worked in America and Europe as well. Now, his time as the president, has allowed us to work with other associations. Probably the most important one, and Rob was involved in this as well, is when we first established CARST, and that was there was a meeting they had in May of 2011. And they set down the foundation for the founding members, both of those guys, and that's when it was created, and they're very influential in that. And Alan also worked with COIRA, and he was one of the founding members of that, and that's been discussed a little bit earlier. Alan's also serves on the board with CANSAR, and their motto is dedicated to preventing radon-induced lung cancer and saving lives through advocacy, awareness, and research. And this, I think, probably the most important thing that Alan has done, he's always worked extensively with different levels of government, be it provincial, federal, or municipal, and bringing forth legislation and guidance and policy to protect Canadians from radon. Now, we've always joked, too, that Alan is kind of our James Bond of the board. I mean, aside from the dapper suits and the English accent, there's also, in his work outside of the board, he's been instrumental in bringing a lot of technologies to the industry that I'm sure would make James Bond's Q quite happy. And some of those things that he's brought forward is Canada's first radon geological potential map that's used by government, educators, business. You see it everywhere now. He's brought forth a variety of innovative measurement devices, as well as products for new construction. And so we've all benefited from that. And also, I should say, mitigation in water and ventilation. So Alan certainly brought together, I think, the big pieces and the small pieces for us on the board to move forward. And also, I should, on a last note, say that I think Alan's passion is quite genuine. And then his wife, Janet, fell to lung cancer. Well, she's still, obviously, she's with us still. And, but they attributed that to radon exposure. And I think that was a really big catalyst in Alan moving forward to protect all Canadians from this. So I guess lastly, both Rob and Alan, I mean, what a ride. You guys are being awesome on the board, and you'll be awesome moving forward. And here's the plaque that you're going to get. It's wonderful. So I don't know if any of you guys maybe finish with Alan and Rob, either one alphabetically. Anyone who'd like to say a few words?
Rob, do you want to?
Cheers, guys. It's been a great ride. We'll be back. You need us, we're here.
Short and to the point. I could just say ditto that, and but thanks for all those kind words. And I was just going to say a few words right at the end to thank everyone, but now's as good a time as any. It's like I said, I've been privileged and honored to serve as president and to be one of the founding members. So that's my satisfaction, to see the organization, the association, grow into what I believe is a movement now. It's totally sustainable. It's got a life of its own, and you know, the future generations are going to take it forward. So to be part of that, the start of anything like that is unique, and to be involved in something that truly is saving people's lives is, again, amazing. It's not everyone that gets a chance to do that. So everybody, thank you. It's been a great ride. I'm going nowhere. I will see you in Victoria for sure. And but just I'd like to say a couple of personal things about Rob. I mean, I've known him now for over 10 years. He's been an amazing source of knowledge, as Scott has said. Just a great board member in terms of his contributions to the board. He actually was the person that mitigated my former home in Ottawa. Took it from 3,200 becquerels with a sub-slab system down to below 100. And the people that live there now will be forever grateful for that. So I could talk all day about Rob. And the only thing I would kind of sorry for is that I think my liver's probably not going to last as long as it would have otherwise had I never met him. But I'll take that. So thank you, Scott, and thank you, Rob.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you, guys. Here's some soda water. Cheers to you.
Thank
All right.
you, all of you.
This was a gin and tonic, Scott. I thought.
Cheers.
Okay, it was a lot of time.
Tonic's good against COVID. You know that, eh?
Is that right? What about gin? I thought alcohol was good for like sanitizing and stuff like that. I figured it had to be good internally.
Well, externally, yeah, maybe. I don't know. The COVID nurse just laughed to walk the dog because the dog was making too much noise.
Say hi.